Good evening, guys. I am here today with my commentator, Quinn. Say hi.
Hi. Hi.
We are
Everybody.
doing the UK Nationals game round 17 between Piotr Andronowski and David Webb. I've got the standings up here magically. As we can see, this isn't the top game because yet again Lewis declined to be annotated. So unfortunately, we're not going to get the winner takes all game. We're not even getting the next game or the game after that. We're getting like the fourth game of this round. So David Webb, at this point in the tournament, was in 7th with 10 wins and plus 723, and Piotr was 8th, just behind him, but with a slightly more negative spread of 493.
I wish that you were allowed to decline annotations in the United States. In the United States, they can charge you with a forfeit for declining annotations, which I think is unfortunate because although annotations are nice, I really don't think that they should get in the way of, sometimes it's unfair, because they don't annotate every game, and sometimes it has an unfair effect on the tournament. I've never really experienced it because I've actually never been annotated in my life. The tournaments that...
Yeah, so I have been annotated a few times. It's not as bad as you kind of think it is. It's
yeah. Just wondering because the little the background noise just cut out completely for a little while. So
yeah, I couldn't hear you finish your sentence, so that was a bit awkward. But yeah, I mean, I suppose Lewis just didn't want it affecting the tournament for a winning game, especially with the fact that this tournament originally wasn't supposed to be annotated. So, well, the annotator for this event only did 3 games right at the end. So.
Yeah, well, if it was unexpected, then that definitely makes sense.
So let's get going then with the first beautiful looking rack that both Quinn and I can see.
Yeah, I mean, if there was an R, they'd be Preju, obviously, but I say obviously too much. It's probably not obvious to most people. But yeah, that's I'm sure the only 8, and unfortunately, this being the first turn, it's the kind of thing that you might exchange. You might play PU at H6 because EIDE is actually fairly strong in Collins. I think that it's stronger than exchanging to me.
Yeah, let's see what championship player thinks.
Defensively than nothing.
I mean, personally, I've never liked leaving the board completely open when it's my turn first. I think that is literally just because my opponents always seem to open with 5-letter words that score 30 plus points, and I'm not prepared to go down that much after changing. But then that might just be my opponents. Well, it likes it.
Okay, you're back on. I couldn't hear you for 20 seconds.
It's really weird. I don't know why it is. It was fine before we started streaming, and then the stream is completely destroyed. Everything.
Are you streaming maybe you're streaming at too high of a resolution? It looks really nice on the Twitch, but if we can't hear each other, then that doesn't help. So I think you're probably streaming at too high of a resolution.
I can't change it now.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can if you stop the stream and restart it, but that might be what we have to do because I feel like your internet connection might not be good enough to actually handle the amount of resolution that you're pumping out.
That sucks, because I actually did the setup.
That or the frame rate. I mean, that or the frame rate. You could also lower the frame rate, because I really doubt that we need to be streaming at 30 FPS for Scrabble.
I love this. It just won't let me change anything. I don't want to change it now.
I mean, okay, but I couldn't hear 20 seconds of what you said. I mean,
I know.
I literally have no idea. All I can see is the sim results.
Yeah, that's literally all that's there right now.
Yeah. Like, okay, the sim doesn't agree with PU, whatever. I don't know if I mean, it's only 2 points, and the strengths of PU are kind of, the way that Quackle Speedy Player plays would blow up all the strengths of PU anyway, so that doesn't tell me a whole lot.
Well, I do think it's weird that they
think exchanging...
Like, I can't find the actual...
I do think it's weird that they think DEI is the... I think it's weird that keeping DEI is the strongest exchange. That seems a little strange to me. I would think it'd be pretty even with ED, and probably pretty even with Pied and DAP and all that.
This was the one that was actually played. Oh, not played. Exchange.
Just keep E.
Just keep the E.
That seems like a very UK thing to do. Like, I feel like David Webb has advocated things like that. It seems completely nonsensical to me.
I don't really enjoy changing 6 personally.
I mean, I will change 6 in some situations, but
yeah, if the rest of my rack is completely rubbish as well. But like, if I'm keeping an E, because like my changes for me personally tend to be very lopsided with the pickups sometimes. So I'm not really happy with changing, just leaving like one vowel or one consonant or whatever, because then it might just backfire on me, which is pretty typical.
Yes. If I were exchanging from that rack, I would keep D. I would keep D and E. Like, to me, that's clear. I want to have, consonant vowel balance, and ED seems slightly better than Pied, and, But I think PU is probably what I'd actually play. Like, it messes up humans slightly more than, just exchanging, and gives you some early control over what's happening to the board. And EIDE is not that bad.
Mm-hmm. So this next rack, at least it's balanced.
Yeah, like you could play a Tiggy, leaving CO, that'd be 1. Oh, Coty is better, though, I think. And you know what? It's close, because GI isn't too great. I don't like Caget, even though that's probably the highest scoring thing. I think Marco's probably gonna like Coty. It's probably a little better. I guess Coty's very slightly better than a Tiggy.
Mm-hmm. And David Webb also likes Coty. So,
is that what he played?
Yep. Before the game, I've also forgot to warn people that something happens later in the game that I may have to explain and that we may have to deal with. We'll cross the bridge of the late game issue when we come to it. We've still got like 20 moves before then, so we'll live before that happens.
Yeah, you're starting to break up again. I could still hear most of that, but
you're completely fine.
I could still hear most of that, but
yeah,
I am concerned. Yeah, well, I'm not streaming. I'm not trying to stream at 640 P at the same time as I'm talking, so it's not surprising that I sound fine. You're trying to do both at the same time.
I know. I shouldn't.
Push it out to me and push it out to, push the stream out at the same time.
Yeah. Stupid setup wizard. I should just set it up myself.
That broke up.
I shouldn't bother with setup wizards much more, should I? Ah well. Here's the next rack.
This is Cooey, I guess. Yeah, COOEY. That just seems obvious to me.
So does that mean the exchange worked, or didn't it work, or could it have worked better?
I mean, you're sitting there with 5 vowels and a Y. I mean, it could have worked better. Most likely, the rack would have been better if Piotr had thrown the E away as well and just exchanged 7. It would also most likely have been better if Piotr kept the D, if Piotr kept pi, if Piotr kept anything other than
anything other than that E. And he
no, that didn't work.
Yeah, Cooey seems best.
Probably would have been better.
And that is what was played.
Ooh, ouch.
You say ouch.
Oh, that's not the real. I was reacting to a rack that the auto-generated rack that it put in before you put in the actual rack. That's not the actual rack that David Webb has. So, is there a bonus? I didn't.
I don't know.
Is guttying? I think guttied is good. I guess guttying is probably good. No, it's not. I made that up.
Making up words is plenty fine on my stream. So long as we realise they're duff, we're fine.
Oh, Gio E7. That looks... No. He doesn't have to. No, that doesn't work. And by the time I find a good championship player, I'll probably already be up. So I stop picking things up.
Well, you don't have to rush. I can just switch.
Yug F7, I guess.
That's pretty blocky.
That's a valid play.
Yeah, it does close the board down like a little bit, but that's the kind of play a player like me makes.
Yeah, holding a blank, I'm fine with closing down the board. It may seem counterintuitive to Crackle, but your opponent is most likely going to open. There's only 2 blanks in the game. Your opponent probably doesn't have one, so blank's good for closed boards.
And it's not like the board becomes completely inflexible after this point. I mean, there are still bonus lanes.
Yeah. So yeah, Jessica was seeing me do 3 minutes a little bit yesterday, and I kind of recovered a little bit after she left, but at the beginning I was playing all sorts of phony words and doing all sorts of nonsense. Right now I'm more susceptible to doing that, first glance. I'll see something first glance and then it'll be phony, but over the course of 20-25 minutes I can usually do a little bit better than that. So emailers is a thing that plays 11D. There might be other doubles. Checking, no, that thing I checked wasn't good. But yeah, emailers is probably best or close to best. Yeah, it's emailers, all Marie's, and measlier. It's not semi-real. I always guess that, but it's not that. Semi-real seems like it should be a word, but it's not.
I think I might just cut the stream here, lower the frame rate, and start again. Or at least just start again from that point and then merge the two videos together or something.
Probably a good idea. There's 7 people watching, but like that's.
Are you still seeing it?
It's fine.
Are you still able to see it? Because Benji said.
Oh, the stream? No, I can't see the stream actually. I just didn't notice.
Okay, so hopefully we should be back after I've changed the resolution, so it probably looks really, really crap now. But you know, we didn't do anything while we were gone. Literally just display of emailers that Crockle seems to recommend.
Doesn't seem like we're back streaming yet. It's still saying the channel is offline.
Yeah, for some reason it seems to take like half a minute to a minute to come back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you see the ads, it's fine.
There we go.
Yeah! All I have to do now is work out how to merge two videos together. That will be quite something.
Yeah, I wish I did. I don't actually know how to do that. I had to throw away a broadcast once because I would have had to do that, and I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I just upload part 1 and part 2, and we'll survive like that.
I don't think merging is probably that hard. I just don't know the proper program to use.
Me neither. I don't think Windows Movie Maker is what they recommend.
Yeah, and depending on what format you're saving it to, it could be okay, but I don't know.
So anyway, after all of that bit of nonsense, yeah, Piotr doesn't actually play emailers, which is odd, because it's a word we kind of expect him to know. Oh dear. Volume on the tablet, that's not a good thing, is it?
Yeah, I mean, if it were like...
If it was something more obscure, you know, we could probably forgive him.
Yeah, or if it was like an American who isn't so strong on like the Collins only, but yeah, those things aren't applicable. And frankly, at this point, Americans are good enough that Americans should be finding emailers too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a mistake.
Yeah,
I guess there could be some sort of like, maybe there's some sort of overthinking about like the 10F spot, but the 14F is almost as bad after mislead, so I don't really think that's justifiable.
Yeah, okay, I would literally just think he overlooked it.
Yeah, so let's see, this would be, I think, weighted as a word if they had the right, yeah it is, for the right floaters, but that's not a thing. Godwit at 10C is what's jumping out at me, because that gets the W on the triple, and it clears the rock up very nicely. Yeah. These have been look like fairly clear decisions so far if you see the things. Not a ton of like super strategic, you know, gotta weigh carefully decisions. It just looks like fairly obvious decisions so far.
Mm-hmm. I understand why it's so bad. When I'm up here in Birmingham, it's like it just.
At least it's mostly working. That's probably about as best you can expect. Sometimes Twitch will just mess with you, like Twitch itself. So.
Oh, messing with my life. Twitch hates me. It's like maybe if I'm at university, like I actually get better connection over the road. Maybe that's what I should do. Just sit on campus at like 8 PM at night, just crying over my night.
Twitch hates almost everybody. I would say everybody, but it probably doesn't hate like the CEO of Twitch who's raking in money. So Chronicle thinks Goud is better than Godwit, which is complete nonsense to me. That, oh yeah, we're just gonna keep the doubles for no reason, you know. What? No. I disagree.
Yeah, unfortunately none of these are played. Gonna have to go down a bit to find the player that was played. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was this. Of course.
Okay.
Like,
fine.
Yeah. We might have to do some explaining on that one, because it looks like one of those players right now that I don't understand it really.
We might have to ask Mr. Webb, because I can't explain it either. Like if there were an S on the rack, it would be like, okay, we're setting the S up, but we have a blank. But that's, you know, most of the time you can even use that as an S. It seems like you're opening up more scoring spots when that's not what you want to be doing when you're about to bingo. You want to be closing scoring spots unless you're about to bingo with a huge lead. But David Webb's playing from behind, so all this seems like it's doing is if Piotr has an A, or even a U, depending, giving Piotr a great chance to score, you know, at 8K or 8J, 5s and 6s to that triple for no discernible benefit. So it just seems like a mistake, a significant blunder.
So basically what we're saying is, David Webb, if you are watching, you better come on my stream and explain this play at some point.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just about everybody makes a mistake of that size in just about every game. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that this particular play seems like a mistake to me.
I was joking there, by the way. But,
okay.
But, you know, it would be nice to have more commentators on my stream, having fun. You know, it would be nice. You know, we've got 7 viewers. I'm sure one of them would like to be on at some point.
One thing I can definitely say is David Webb does appear to have a lot of fun with stuff like this. I mean, if you know, just be going on YouTube, uploading a game just about every day, you know, have several hundred Scrabble videos, you know, which is much more than anybody else that I know of has on YouTube. Clearly gets a lot of joy in this sort of thing. I do feel like sometimes some of his plays are a little underexplained, but I still enjoy watching his videos. I just enjoy watching high-level Scrabble play in general. There's always something to learn.
So on to this rack.
Okay.
Niceness. Of course, I already know what's been played, so it doesn't make for anything good if I then go and go explain what I can already see.
It seems like, you know, or maybe is doing. Maybe your mic is like auto turning off when I'm talking or something. So it might not be a connection thing. Anyway, I see a few candidate plays. Biome at B10, but I think Boiled. I just saw Boiled at 12G. I think that's probably. Oh no, Obelai at 12H is even better because that keeps a consonant and a vowel. I'm just looking real quick to see if there's anything even better. There could be, you know, HI things. I mean, there's Bodel, but that keeps 2 I's. And just in general with a lead, like I don't want to be playing through that D because it opens a new lane, whereas Obelai closes a lane. I think Obelai, O-B-E-L-I, at 12H is Piotr's strongest play that I can see. There could be a bingo I'm overlooking. I don't think there is.
Or generally something else you're overlooking, which there is. Shall I give you a hint?
Obliged at 12 at K5. Yeah, there's a double.
You didn't even need my hint.
I did need a little more caffeine.
Yeah, you needed me to tell you that something was there.
Yeah, I mean, I am going a little faster than I might be in a real game, but yeah, that is the sort of thing that it is sort of easy to do that with in a position and with a rank like that. I won't try and pretend that I couldn't possibly miss it in a tournament game, because I totally could.
We're not really pushed for time anyway, so it should all be fine.
Yeah, I kind of like, I have been kind of rushing a little bit because it seems like sometimes you're like, that you hit the Ask Championship player button, like, almost at the beginning of the turn, and I'm like trying to see if I can find the best play before those choices come up and spoil them for me.
Just tell me to stop.
Yeah, that's probably what I should be doing. There is, the issue of stream lag and stuff, and by the time I tell you to stop, it might be up anyway. But whatever. Let's see. This seems like a fairly bingo rack. I do see if there was an open S or A stand pat, but I don't see that on the board. Looking for something through that E. Looking for something maybe through that O.
I think the E is probably your best bet.
Yeah, it's and even a bingo through the O might not be worth it. Patented, yeah, 10A, 11A rather. Just helping me out again with those hints, but that's the sort of thing I probably, even if I miss it the first go round in a position like that, you're gonna look again, like.
Yeah, you're always gonna keep looking for a bonus, especially with a blank on your rack.
Right.
I hope everyone's experience is not as bad as mine, because I'm being chucked off the stream, at least on my end, every, minute and a half. I hope that's not everything. There really is nothing I can do. If I've just got bad internet, I've got bad internet. I mean, it probably is my own internet. Because I'm just going to say right now, the internet at Nottingham University is far better than the internet here. Mind you, campus Wi-Fi is normally pretty nice.
Yeah.
And it's not like I can just go to the library on campus and book a room and just do this for an hour. Or an undetermined amount of time. That would irritate a lot of people, I think.
Mm.
Oh look, patented is the only bonus. And it's seen.
Okay, this is Jilgi plus a T. I'm not sure that Jilgi goes anywhere. Looking to see if that... First thing I look to see is if that JA spot at B10 can be used, but it doesn't look like that's happening. Then it's just like, looking for scoring spots in a fairly closed board. Not necessarily a picnic.
Are you sure Jilgi doesn't play, though?
No, I'm not sure.
Is that literally just because I've said it?
Yes. No, of course. I mean, eventually I'm sure you'll trick me and give me hints that's complete BS, but in this case it does play at L1. And yes, it's best.
Best by a long way.
Okay, yeah, this is heaters, aethers, and reheats are the 3 7s in this. Heaters plays at 14F. There could be even higher scoring things if there's something through that P, but I don't think that there is playable. So yeah, probably heaters is best.
Yeah, so those 12 extra points are seemingly really good. But also I guess that this triple line isn't exactly too flexible. I mean, you've got blocky 2-letter words here. And then this R and this S all in a row just make it.
It's not. Yeah.
It doesn't make it great for scoring unless you have the exact right letters.
Yeah, it's not worth. It's not worth the amount of. Yeah, like, and there's nothing really to sacrifice for. Like, everything else that you could possibly play opens some sort of triple or another as well. Like, whether it be plays over there or, you know, hooking Yug with a play at I1 that opens a triple or playing on the same spot that opens a triple. You don't have a choice. So might as well score the points. Let's say, is that... I guess you're not changing there. That I just don't want to go off on the wrong rack again, but...
Oh, you probably didn't see me change it.
Okay, so... Not gonna... The clavers play... Yeah, it kind of missed the frames or whatever.
Yeah, it would be nice to play adaptive as a triple here.
There's a 7 on here that's... After Jogi, I don't want to take it for granted. Because I'm not used to looking at the Oracle board layout, so I'm more likely to see like things on the rack. I probably won't miss things on the rack, but I might miss board stuff because I'm not used to looking at the board. So if there's no bingo, then Java 1L looks right. That's pretty close to like. There's a Jiva too, but I don't think that's worth doing. I think Java's better. It's pretty close to the ideal for leave from that rack. Scores well.
So Java over a Jiva for
you probably
the leave, you think?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like DET. Adding the I in there seems very helpful. DET kind of has some negative synergy going on, and the I think, is probably the best value you could add to that. Maybe the A has a better value or something, but the I seems like the vowel that I would pick. And so it seems worth the 3 points.
Even if Quackle doesn't agree with you. Or Piotr doesn't agree with you.
Yeah, no, I don't care if Quackle doesn't agree with me, something like that. Java's better than Jiva.
This is really starting to irritate me, this thing. Like, it's dropping frame rates like hell. Look at it. It never drops that many frames when I normally stream.
Yeah.
It's like dropping every 4 seconds.
It's, yeah. It's pretty bad. I'm starting to wonder if it even is you or if Twitch is just having issues. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I've never I've rarely streamed, and when I have, it's usually not at this time of day. So I do notice that when I'm trying to even load archive things and stuff, for some reason Twitch doesn't seem to respond well in the afternoon in U.S. time, which seems bizarre. But I don't know if maybe there are people in Europe or people in Asia or something who overload Twitch during that time.
I think they do.
But it seems like I always have problems at this time of day for some reason.
I don't like the numbers. It's like, oh well, we should keep going because it's going to record it locally for me anyway, even if it won't show up, and then people can watch it later. And then I might just have to upload it later.
If you're gonna, yeah.
I might just have to do local recordings. It's just the way it's going to have to go.
If you're gonna show me Quackle disagreeing with me, then you can go ahead and do it. Because if there's a bingo placement, I'm not seeing it at all.
With this rack? I don't know. We haven't even talked about this rack.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this lead is there because otherwise Adaptive could go down for a triple.
Yeah, stupid. Whatever it is. Stupid mislead. So Dweeb's rack, as I shall call him.
Okay, there's probably a ton of high-scoring plays off this. Squall is one interesting thing that I see at 3H immediately. It's interesting because you can't, you don't normally have to use that S before the Q in that position to get, but yeah. And by the time I finished that sentence, you'd already shown up the choices and that being on top.
Well, I'd already gotten the choices before we started analysing it.
Yeah. Worth just checking, things like Halma at B10 are really interesting. QZ can actually, with a U, can actually be pretty strong, but yeah, I think, especially since you're keeping an H, and that H is often going to go down at 4H to the triple, then I think it's probably best to, and one thing I'm noticing is that 10B spot is not as strong as it looks like, because the way that the overlaps on patented work is that it seems like almost nothing that in terms of the J or the Z or most things can actually overlap across the 10 row. It seems like most of the time that gets hit, it only gets hit by playing something through the A and the M, like Halma there, or jammed or something. Which obviously the J is already played, so it's not in the pool right now. But things like that.
This is really irritating. I don't think it's going live anymore, but what the hell?
So
what the hell?
I see a bingo already that plays, which is tenured at M6. It's tenured retunes and denture. So
denture coming out is slightly better, probably just because it gets more points.
Yeah, with the D. So yeah, I was actually checking for other spots still. Like denture could also play at 2B in addition to playing M6. I probably wouldn't play it at 2B.
It's just way too flexible.
Because not only you get counterplay for that, and the ES also you know, takes an S and back. So that's not ideal either. And a lot of things that would, like, play on top of it, yeah, also take additional bingo hooks. So, since you're taking a lead, I honestly probably wouldn't do that. I honestly probably would just take the point sacrifice and play it on the M column. But you can justify doing either thing, I think.
And you can even more justify it when your opponent sat there with a rack looking like that.
Yeah, I can actually... I'm starting to get, like... The screen share is starting to blur out a little bit, so... I can't actually see for sure what the first... Okay, now I see it on the stream. The first letter is an F, but it was fairly obvious that that was not going to be a good rack, no matter what happens.
At least you can see the stream, I can't.
So yeah, I don't know if, like, you could try and play through that with Fez at either C1 or 10J. I'm kind of looking for something that might possibly shed an additional vowel on top of that, which, you know, if there's something that does that also scores, would also be, you know, nice, but I'm not too confident that that exists. Assuming that it does, I might want to play it. I might want to play it at in the 10 J spot rather than the C1 spot, because you are holding that last S for the ESS hook. That may not stay there, but when you have the last S, or even when you have any S, even if it wasn't the last S, when you're down, then you want to preserve those hooks that, you know, are just F, or the only the S hooks. The other thing that I just noticed actually about Fez is that even though it blocks bingos from the BE, it actually preserves the squalls hook at N3, which you can also take advantage of with that S. So it prevents your opponent from bingoing or doing anything, you know, off that BE, and while preserving your chances to bingo off squall. Your opponent still could interfere with those bingo chances by playing through the eye of obliged, but it feels like that having to hook if instead of having to hook I makes it slightly harder to do that, and playing through that I will give you additional floaters anyway. Besides which, you know, you'll also still have that ESS hook.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cockle is liking Nesh at H1, which looks bizarre and bad to me because it kills that ESS that you have without replacing it with another S hook. Trailing, even if only trailing by just a little bit, I want to keep the multiple S hooks on that board as long as possible. Even though you're not super likely to bingo off H and NPS, you might be bingoing the turn after, so...
Shout out to Nesh for being a Midlands word. Nesh is from the Midlands, where I currently am. It just means cold, apparently. It's really weird.
I'm sorry, I could not hear any of that last sentence about... All I could hear was like, Nesh.
Nesh is from
all I could hear was Nesh.
Nesh, Nesh, Nesh. So crazy.
That's an adjective, right? Nesh.
Yeah, it just means cold.
Yeah, Neshist is good. Yeah. like the duck.
What duck? There's a Nash duck.
Your Nash duck.
What is that?
Yeah, soft. I like soft things. I have a big soft stuffed fox that I got about a year ago. She's named Roxy. I don't pose with her all the time, but it's nice to have something like that around. If you feel the need. I don't have I'm allergic to most actual pets, so if you're allergic to actual pets, it can be nice to have something stuffed and soft around. And I'm not even interested in admitting that on stream. I do not care. Think whatever you want of me. I'm happy to have soft things, niche things around. Nesh also sounds like an extremely slurred nice as well. Nash.
So, I would assume that if we had the stream live right now and it was working, everybody would be kind of shouting at what the best play is here.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty obvious what the best play is. And,
yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to think that maybe we should give up trying to stream and just try and record it, because it's become so hard to actually even hear you and follow. I can't be sure that you're. Are you hearing everything that I say? Is that still
pretty
going
much,
fine,
yeah.
or are you starting to have problems with that too?
Pretty much
okay.
Everything you say.
Yeah, I'm struggling to hear you. I'm struggling to hear half of what you say. And your screen sharing blurs up a lot of the time, too. To the point where it's sometimes impossible to see the board.
Well, just ask me and I'll type it back to you on Facebook or something.
Right now, I can see the board, and I can see that Wex at 15H is really strong, but WXE, if EIOU WX is in fact the correct rack, but
it was by far the best anyway. Oh dear. What is this rack? I hate people's writing. Why can't I ever read it?
yeah, the Wexa went down, and then the screen sharing blew up, and the audio blew up right afterward. So now I'm looking at it looks like there's been a Photoshop filter of that watercolor Photoshop filter sort of overlaid over everything, just at maximum or whatever, and just blurring everything out, so that the only way that you can even tell it's on the board is by kind of remembering what's supposed to be there, and then the letters that are blurred out, you can kind of fill it in with your mind what's supposed to be there, but it does make the racks hard to see. I can see the I can sort of see it's AHNPRSC. It feels like one of those eye tests, where they just keep making the further and further away, and just how long can you still read it? I feel like I'm being challenged in that way.
I feel bad that my ability to do this is just slowly deteriorated. I used to be able to do this just fine, and now it's I might just have to do it solo in future.
Yeah, or again, just record it and put it up later or something. The strongest thing that I'm seeing right now that I can finally see the board properly, is actually not even a Z play. It's Farms B9. that scores really well. You could do. I'm sure Quackle will like things also like Zap It 1A though. Zap It M6 is pretty strong because it lets you bingo afterward. Is really like championship players going up, but like I'm still thinking about this. Like I don't think Farms is actually right now. That I took a second look at it. It seems like a good equity play. I'm not even looking at the choices yet. I'm still trying to decide what I want to play because I still can't decide what placement of Zap I like. Whether I like anything for this I haven't even had a chance to look at it yet. I'm sitting here trying not to look at these.
Yeah, there are just so many choices.
I think I just like.
Just so many choices.
I think I just like Zap 1A. Oh, Hesp at H1. That's the top choice, which is Hesp at A1, is really nice, actually. It has draws for amazing things like Zarnex, 5B, if you pull that C, for example. And it has a lot of scenarios where you get to play the Z next turn and then you get to bingo anyway somewhere. Hesp looks good. Izars also looks good. They still like Nesh, which I still think Nesh is bad. Nesh is bad for all the reasons that Hesp is good, because it blows up that hook without giving anything back. But Hesp gives, keeps that S hook active and actually, makes it impossible for your opponent to kind of block it easily, whereas the ES right now is very vulnerable to being blocked. Plus, it only spends 2 tiles. So having seen all those choices, I agree with Quackle about Hesp. Zap isn't that bad. Farms maybe is. I'm not sure it's considering even Zap M6, which is probably it's probably not good though. But yeah, Hesp looks really nice actually. It's hard to see that play with all the options and the Z dazzling in you and everything, but I think Hesp is just Quackle made a really good decision on that turn. I agree wholeheartedly.
It's rare genius moment.
Yeah, I'm definitely from the school of thought of Quackle is seriously overrated, but I am an 1890 player. I'm not a 2200 player. What do you have to be, to be considered stronger than Quackle? So I'm under no illusions that I am quote unquote better than Quackle. I do think I'm better at Quackle at certain types of positions, and Quackle is better than me at certain types of positions. And then sometimes I just am not paying attention or don't know a word and just miss everything. So, there's all those different possibilities. I think, But if I didn't think that I was stronger at Quackle at any type of position, then what would the point of me even being on the stream be? Like, you can show Quackle choices all by yourself. You don't need anything special to show, Quackle's choices. Just kind of run it. I think it makes it interesting if there's somebody on here arguing with Quackle sometimes. I'm hoping that's interesting.
Just imagine if Quackle could argue back. That would be incredible.
There are a lot of, there are certain players, I won't name names, but there's certain players who talking to them feels like Quackle arguing back with you, so I think I can imagine it. because they're just like, they're carrying water for Quackle, like, just nonstop. Like, they just look at the sim results and they're like, well, you say so-and-so, but look at these sim results, you're wrong. Like, some of them won't even try to explain what the logic is supposed to be behind the sim results. Some of them will, but, like, I think that Quackle is really strong, but I think that a human trying to imitate Quackle is not nearly so strong. Because, humans don't operate based on being able to simulate a million positions in your head. Humans operate based on logic and reasoning and shortcuts and creative thinking. And it's possible to get pretty close to Quackle's style of play by, deploying those factors, but I don't know why you would want to, really. I would think that you'd want to play to your strengths as a human being, and if you're trying to say that Quackle is always the best while, not being Quackle yourself and not having the same strengths that Quackle does, I'm not sure, that's, the right approach. I think the right approach is to play to your strengths, whatever they are, and maybe try and, in between games, try and, improve what your strengths are. But once you're in a game, like, you gotta play to your strengths. That's why I like things like PU on the opening play, like when Quackle would not do that, because I think PU plays to a human strength of making the game more complicated, making it more of a psychological thing, a thing that interferes with your opponent's ability to, assess plays correctly, and that requires your opponent to be, experienced in that types of positions, or otherwise just a special player to be able to navigate effectively. And even if your opponent is a special player, sometimes it can still be right making those kind of plays, because it makes them sweat, it makes them think a little bit, it gets them outside of their comfort zone, even if they handle it correctly. And that it's usually easier, energy-wise, to get your opponent out of their comfort zone on you than it is on your opponent if you're doing it right. And that's just an entire component of the game that Quackle simulations will not show you any of. It's just completely orthogonal to Quackle simulations.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can agree with that. The amount of opponents I've come across that hate closed boards that I give them, it's just hilarious just watching them try to figure out how to play on a slightly more difficult board. Mm-hmm. I've even heard them swear under their breath. Like, it's hilarious at the same time, because so many players love playing open. They love just being able to put everything on the board that they want to put down, and then they play me and they just can't do that. They have to play like an entirely different way.
Right.
Usually. Because obviously it depends what I get as well, because if I get loads of bonuses, we could be happy. Right. The board will stay open.
Right.
But no, I love watching my opponents suffer.
Yeah.
I don't think they like knowing that I like watching them suffer. So so they're probably glad that I'm taking a sabbatical from Scrabble just to see less of my game around.
Well,
less of my problems.
I feel like your style of play is growing in popularity, though. Maybe it's not in the UK, but in the US it definitely is. So even if you're retiring, people are carrying on the legacy of playing frustrating Scrabble.
Frustrating Scrabble is so much fun.
Yeah, it can look a little bit like, because it can kind of cancel out. Like when I was, you were seeing the stream when Benji and I were playing, and we both kind of try and play that style to some extent, but since we were both kind of trying to interfere with each other, it wasn't entirely clear what was happening, and to some extent, sometimes it looked like us just being silly, and sometimes it just completely backfired. But a lot of times you just couldn't see that it was even happening because, you know, we were both kind of trying to ignore it and trying to do our own, you know, things. So it kind of got a little bit, some of the strategy kind of got a little bit lost in it. Like some of the, I think against a lot of types of opponents, then I think either one of us would have won, you know, maybe an extra game against certain opponents. Benji might have swept certain opponents. I might have taken 2 out of 3 against certain opponents just from stylistic discomfort, because a lot of those games hinged on 1 or 2 turns when making a, you know, freaking out and making a panic play could have cost the game. But because that didn't take place at all, then, you know, that the strengths of that style kind of didn't show up because it, you know, it cancels out. It's, you know, against itself, it really doesn't do anything. So I've been kind of ignoring the this particular position because it took me a while to actually even see anything good. Let's see, 1919 tiles, so that means 12 in the bag. Raupo at 8A looks okay. Something blocking H, the H1 thing looks okay, but I'm not, maybe something with OEs like Eon or something. That doesn't seem great. Nori. I don't know. I don't think that that's worth it. I think probably just play Raupo and try and get, you know. Or you could play Ure at M10, I guess, making Finny. Or Ure at 13k. But I would probably just play Raupo. I don't see Raupo even on this.
Me neither. And I don't see the play that was made on this either, so... And I need to work out where it was played. Because it seems to be kind of hidden.
There's just a ton of plays that are like...
So much.
Like, Unrope is really similar to Raupo. It's just maybe slightly better than Raupo. But there's just, and there's, you know, a ton of plays that are, there's some plays with that Q that aren't even really.
Basically, there were just so many possibilities with that last rack. It was hard to work out what was best. I think that's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, that will explain why. My internet's gone, so we gotta love this. I've never done this before. Sorry about that. My internet cut out, which is really funny. For me, anyway, not for you. My internet is terrible at it. I might have to
Alright, so I can hear your voice, but I don't see the screen sharing again.
Oh yeah, I need to set that up. 1 minute. The next rack is FHKNRSV. Not that that helps you because you can't see the board.
Right. Also because I only heard 5 tiles.
Maybe that's just my accent as well. Maybe I spoke too fast. And stuff.
And I also don't know what actually got played on the turn where I was recommending Raupo.
Ruin.
So, yeah, no, none of it helps me.
So this rack is gross, and I don't want to look at it anymore. Because it's got no vowels on it.
Is that why you're refusing to show it to me?
It should be showing it to you. I think it's just terrible at functioning.
Maybe it's aware that it's so bad that it doesn't want to show its face to me, so it's just hiding from the screen share. But no, all I see is the little loading thing. It's trying to screen share, it's just not succeeding. Now, I seem to have a perfectly functional internet connection.
Well, we know fully well that my functioning internet connection is not very functioning, is it?
Yeah, I keep like, I don't know. I'm trying to make sure that it's not my fault, but I don't think it's my fault.
It's going to be more my fault, I think.
Yeah, or the University of Nottingham's fault, really.
I'm in Birmingham, so this is more my accommodations fault than anything.
Right. Was Nottingham the good God? Was that the place that had good internet?
Yeah, that's the place that I was streaming off the BMSC.
Right, yeah, I got it mixed up, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Don't worry, nobody knows where I am anymore, so... Least of all me, I don't know where I am.
I only have a fuzzy idea of where Nottingham is. I think it's sort of close to where Shakespeare lived.
No, I'm pretty sure Shakespeare is actually more this way, in Birmingham. Whatchamacallit, Stratford-upon-Avon. More this way.
Right.
Stratford-upon-Avon is this way. Maybe you're thinking of Robin Hood.
Yeah, no, I was reading a book that was, like, trying to link Shakespeare up with Robin Hood and, like, trying to say that there was some sort of, like... But yeah, it's... That, that it was, the same type of rural, forest area or whatever, and kind of showing maps that kind of made them look like they were close, but they're probably not that close. I don't know. I returned the book back to the library because it was boring, so I don't trust me on that at all. I'm sure that somebody actually from the UK knows UK geography much better than I do. I can't even get the counties to stick in my head.
Don't ask me about counties. I don't care about them. Nottingham is just the other side of the Midlands, anyway.
Mm-hmm. The only reason I care about counties is because they keep coming up, and like when I try to do like Apterous trivia contests, there's always a question about counties because apparently even UK people find them at least tricky enough to have trivia questions about them. But I always feel like I have no legitimate shot at even getting the question. So I've tried to study it a little bit. But it hasn't gone that well because I have no context because I've never even been to the UK, and I'm just like I can't connect anything to anywhere really. Like okay, this is sort of where my ex lives, and this is sort of where Jessica lives, and a few people that I know, but like, and I still can't see your screen. Maybe I should hang up and like we can try again.
Oh, that sucks. I don't even know what to do.
I'm just gonna hang up and try again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
If not, I might just have to hold up my tablet and show you.
Okay, it's working now.
Yeah,
I can see your screen now.
We've got functioning things. Let's make it work, so we can finally talk about Scrabble again.
Yay! Yeah, I'm sure everybody was fascinated about that. I don't even know if you were running the stream. Yeah, sorry if we were talking about counties and whatever. Cash at H1 scores pretty well, but of course it does like things to the board that I wasn't necessarily recommending. There's Hans at B10. I'm not really sure about spending that S. There's like Hork at 9C, which might actually be one of the stronger plays, but it's not. I don't know that it scores enough, and it keeps that V, and I just... Nothing looks that good, is what I'm saying.
It's our 7 consonants, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 7 consonants, and there's 8 in the bag, and yet I still don't know about exchanging, because I feel like if you exchange, then your opponent is just going to outrun you here. And there's a ton of plays that, like, score. It's just... okay, Funk at J2. I was looking at that position. I saw, like, Rook or whatever that I think... yeah, Cash looks pretty okay too, but it just doesn't look like you're going to draw that bingo. Leaving HRSV is a slightly better way to draw that bingo. So, yeah, I mean, I guess Pork was the thing that I first set in that position. I think Fork I probably would have seen in a minute more, but that also seems like something that gives you a fighting chance. Either one looks fine. I guess it's Fork kind of stopped you from theoretically drawing bingos to 6A, but I don't even know what fits there that's even in the pool. I don't know if anything does. I don't know if there's anything that ends in like RO or some nonsense like that. So yeah, Funk or Fork look fine to me. Those look like the best things. I think Quackle not liking Cash is probably correct, because you can't afford to not play that extra consonant. 5 consonants is so much worse than 4 consonants right now. You know, David is absolutely correct at wanting to play off 3 consonants.
I suppose the other thing as well, if you change there, you're changing all the clunky letters, and you need the clunky letters to score, because 1-point letters aren't going to give you any score unless you can bonus.
Yeah, I mean, what you want to do is, like, you want to score this turn, and then you want to bonus, or bingo as the Americans would say. And because if you don't get both of those elements of the sequence in, then Piotr has a really excellent chance to outscore you. You would have to hope that Piotr has, like, complete junk, which Piotr is actually pretty close to having complete junk, but Piotr has, like, there's one consonant in there, and that one consonant is probably enough to win the game if David Webb doesn't bonus back. So, yeah, something like Fork or Funk even slightly better. Those seem like the only shots that you have, and I don't even know if there's enough in the pool. If there's something in the pool that even works, but it seems like that's the type of play that you would want to be looking at. So basically, at this point, you know, Piotr could look at trying to, you know, block things, but, you know,
there's no point in blocking,
especially block like 01 or something. But with the pool the way it is, like, you know, I don't know. The only 7 I see right now is Broncos, and that doesn't. I don't think that plays anywhere. You know, it seems,
I don't even think Broncos is a 7.
No, it is a 7. BR.
Oh yeah.
ONCOS. Yeah.
It's me that can't spell. I hate my. Okay. Let me.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think Moop is right. I don't think that's right. But that's something. Like, even playing that probably wins you the game. I would probably want to look a little more. Maybe try and find something, blocking. I guess you could play like Mooey and Fenny. M7 would be. And that leaves one in the bag, actually, right? Because there's 12 unseen, so that means 5 in the bag. So Mooey leaves 1 in the bag. Mooey M7. That seems, it may not be the best thing, but it seems perfectly adequate to win the game.
Especially since there is, in fact, a playable bonus in the pool that would go down. And look, you can spell Broncos with an H, so I am right after all.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Apparently. Well. For like the first time in my life, I am right about a Scrabble word having an H in it or something.
Yeah, okay. Yay. Since you haven't told me that, I can see a playable bonus that goes down, which would be cordons at M7, but again, we're blocking that anyway.
Oh, then there are more playable bonuses that goes down. I was only thinking about one that began with an S.
Okay.
Yeah,
but does Mooey block that too? Like, it seems like
Mooey would. No, Mooey doesn't block that. It literally just fits alongside it.
Yeah, well, that's that's hilarious, but like, with 5 in the bag, the odds of drawing the exact right bonus would be astronomical. Even if I could see what the heck you're talking about, which right now I can't. And don't really care, honestly. Like,
should I tell you the letters anyway?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can alphabetize this. CHNORRS.
Okay, Schnorr, yeah.
Which is really irritating because the alphagram literally almost spells it out for you.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to know the word, which I do, but it's not like even. I feel almost embarrassed that I know it because it's not like super high prop or anything. Like, it's like, I know this because I studied too much, but even then I couldn't see it with 5 in the pool. It's hard to anagram. If the only way you're going to lose is your opponent getting and finding that, and there's still 1 in the pool anyway, I'm fine with that. There's the opponent. They want to score with Mooey at F1 for 34, which fine. Like,
you could pretty much.
But Mooey, Mooey M7, which is what I wanted to play, still wins 99.24% of the time, according to Quackle. For whatever that's worth, which is almost nothing. But yeah, you're. And maybe maybe the 0.76% is drawing Schnorr. I don't know, but it seems, like I don't even want to try calculating in my head like whether you win the end game after Schnorr, but I guess you probably do because you're going up, 70, and Schnorr, if you are not playing alongside it, scores like 80-ish. I guess and if, and it doesn't contain the V, so either your opponent has the V, or you have it with AEE, which is a lot easier to work with than the 1-0 that your opponent have. So yeah, it does seem like you win the end game after Schnorr anyway. But yeah, again, it's kind of pro forma. Like, we can sit here and kind of theoretically discuss, when I have you on my team and you find, the one thing in the pool that Mooey doesn't block and like blah blah blah, and we work out, what wins or whatever. But sitting by myself over a board, I'd probably just try and block most, the most things in the pool and make your opponent, if your opponent's really going to ask pull away, make them, actually go through the effort of doing it and don't give them like something easy like cordons or condors or whatever, you know, in the pool, you know. You know, this movie is just like it's easy. It's fairly easy to do. Movie M7, you know, it's fairly easy to think through that that's the, you know, the programmatic thing to do in that sort of situation, and it pretty much works in this situation. There's just happens to be another thing that's slightly better. Mau Mau is fun. There's another thing that is in there that scores. I forgot that was a word. It's a really fun word. Mau Mau, brown cow, or brown fish. What color fish is a Mau Mau? Some color fish. Pink, apparently. How now, Mau Mau, pink fish?
That should be how that thing is said. And it looks a bit like those sweets. The word itself looks like those sweets that they sell in this country. I can't even say it. Some kind of dodgy palindromic sweet.
It makes me think of I don't even want I'll like I am the words too, because I don't even want to like attempt to pronounce and get across what the words actually are audibly, but it's, you know, those two. I guess I could spell it, you know, M-A-O-R, M-O-R, M-O-R, M-A-O-R, but like, yeah, that weird low provenance anagrams that it reminds me of those, and of stuff like mono and mano, which are actually
it's nice of you to
which are actually Maori words, which Maomore is not, you know. It's, I guess, like Scots Gaelic or something.
You can type the words all you like to me, chat won't see them.
You put it up on the screen share anyway, though.
Yeah, but the screen share only for me and you, not for chat, so...
Oh, right, yeah, okay. So they didn't see it, yeah, well, whatever. That's why I spelled it out.
For my benefit only. Which is really good, because I didn't have any clue how you were spelling those.
Sorry.
Nah.
It doesn't matter anyway, because they're just like, that reminds me of a thing. Like, they're not even like actual plays that we're discussing in the actual game.
It's fun.
True. Words are fun.
Yeah. Well, at least we know David Webb now does not have schnorr. Or cordons.
He certainly does not. He doesn't have anything. I mean, he has like, he has legal Scrabble plays. He has like harms or whatever. He has legal Scrabble plays, but he's not winning this game.
Not without like dramatically getting a phony or something.
Yeah, no.
Getting away with something completely hilarious.
What, you mean to say that schnickner is not a word? Are you kidding me?
You never know.
So they want to play Perv, and I don't know, what, expect your opponent to give you a spot for Channers or something? And you still lose? I don't know.
Maybe we're holding out for like a miracle at this point.
Yeah, I don't see the point of like playing off one tile in this situation. Like, even if you're trying, like, and if you do, I would think it would be, you know, I would kind of, well, actually I can kind of see it, because I started looking for V stuff. There's Vex, obviously, but I guess you do have the last S, so I guess after Curve, it's kind of, you know, trying to take advantage of that S hook, but that doesn't even work though, because PRVE and PRVEVO are both words, and there's two E's and two O's out, so your opponent's guaranteed to have that, and your opponent could even, you know, your opponent could really like just have an easy play over there. I don't know why you'd want. I mean, I guess they they probably have something at 13k anyway, but it just helps your opponent set up the 0-2. The only thing that concerns me about harms is that you're keeping both C and V on your rack, so there's some chance that you could be, stuck. But I mean, does it even matter at this point? Like, your opponent's probably playing, a maximum of 2 plays after that, so you're probably not going to get rid of both of them anyway. And that S, wherever you do, I was kind of thinking maybe like Rich or something at 3 or at HJ to like just dump things and score okay, but I'm not even sure that's better than Harms. I'm not sure, Matt. I guess if you're trying for spread or whatever, then it's worth looking for stuff like that, or like Such at J2, or I don't even, like, these aren't good plays that I'm coming up with necessarily, but there aren't any. There aren't any good plays.
Yep. Well, the problem is this next move is where things get a bit complicated. And, yeah. This is where things get complicated.
What?
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, is it like a stick? Like, so yeah, I guess with your opponent having a C and
not
V.
Not quite.
Okay. Your opponent, you're having a C and V, I would, the first thing I would look at for a stick. So I probably wouldn't just like play bow up or whatever immediately, which would be a good equity play, or try and do something, So I'd probably start by looking at where my opponent can play that C and V. There's Vex, obviously, J12, that's fairly easy. There's Cuts. Oh! Oh, right. Okay. I kind of skipped past that there's 6 tiles in the rack, but yeah, I noticed it. I kind of skipped past it. Yeah, you don't do that.
I would have actually mentioned it to you live, but you like talking, so I figured I might as well just...
No, interrupt me. Come on, I'm talking. It's completely irrelevant. Well, it's not completely irrelevant, because even after the underdraw, you still,
Yeah.
You still have to deal with your opponent's tiles, but,
But the thing is here, the underdraw isn't actually noticed until after David Webb actually makes his next play. So the underdraw can't be corrected. Like, if it was spotted now, David Webb could be like, here's my V, or whatever, and then...
Right.
But then...
Which wouldn't make any real difference.
Yeah.
Like, V would actually help Piotr in some ways.
I'm not sure which tile wouldn't help him.
Yeah, I mean, because they're all consonants.
Yeah.
What Piotr would love right now is a consonant, just to increase the whole flexibility and scoring potential of everything. So,
if he would have loved a consonant, he should have drawn from the bag.
Yeah. That's why I was, when I'm in live tournaments, I always, in this position, start doing ridiculous things to the bag. Like, I turn it upside down, shake it, and then I, press it, and then I do a bag check, and, and sometimes people look at me really funny, or even, you don't have to... I had an opponent be like, there's nothing in the bag, and I'm like, I know, I'm doing it anyway. Because people underdraw, it happens.
Yeah, but also, I think the difference is you kind of expect players to pay attention, but it's probably at this point in the tournament, it's the last round. It's the last round, and these guys just would rather go to bed.
Yeah, for that to that's why I do it all the time, just because I want it to be a habit, that it's not something that I have to think about actively, that I'm going to check the bag in this position. I want it to just be automatic. Even if it annoys people, it's not against the rules or anything, and it's in positions like this, it becomes what you're supposed to do. So.
And it's kind of like the whole open hand thing that it seems like a lot of players here, at least, don't do so much. But it's like now it's kind of a habit for me that like
I'll do it in
what
situations.
you're supposed to do.
Yeah, like I'll do it in situations sometimes where it makes no sense. Like I have checked an empty bag and like that we both know is empty and that I've already shaken out, and I'll take my hand out and I'll still do the open hand thing, just because it's habit. It's easier to do it than it is to not do it at that point. You've done it hundreds of times in the tournament. All right, so yeah, I guess Piotr does do the thing that seemed obvious and played bow up, and it's not correct, apparently. Championship player says OE for 13. I'm guessing that there's... because OE, that's... Where was that? Was that something that blocked Vex, or is J6? Okay, so I'm just trying to see why that is best. Because it's not immediately clear to me. I guess it does still give you... The thing is, it does still give you bow up, and David cannot block bow up. Like, there's nothing David can do about bow up. So, Maybe
there's an out move we haven't seen.
But David can do something about OE. Amazingly, because there's like Quar or whatever, that after Quar you can't actually play, down there. So, yeah, I guess there could be an outplay, but I don't think that an outplay is actually necessary to explain why a championship player wants us to play OE first. I think it's
maybe it just wants better spread or something.
It's just one of those really minor things that, like, because that can technically be blocked later if you play bow up first, and then you have to play OE for less points at, like, A14 for, like, 11 or whatever it is. So it's, like, tiny amount of spread points is what it is. But, yeah, like, it still matters, but, yeah.
Well,
I just wanted to stop
Yeah,
I just wanted to stop and make sure I understood why that was happening, but I think I understand it now. But like I said, it's because bow up can't be blocked, but OE can. So yeah, since he overdraw, but do we know like what tile was still in the bag?
Nope.
Okay, so it's kind of hard for me to analyze this when this isn't like, we know it's not his actual rack at the time. It's what's supposed to be his rack.
No, this was his actual rack at the time.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, I said the underdraw wasn't spotted until after David Webb made his play, so then it couldn't be corrected.
Oh, okay.
So this was actually his rack at this point because he'd already drawn.
Okay, so he wasn't supposed to draw the V, or
he wasn't supposed to draw something. No, he already had the V. He drew.
Just like an N or something, I think.
I think he drew DR.
Okay.
Yeah, because he played Harms and then he drew DR onto Harms.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually says at the bottom of my screen. Why am I trying to figure that out? David Webb to play after drawing DR. Okay, Quackle, thank you for that.
All right. Oh yeah. I never even. I don't know if that's like a new thing in a recent version of Quackle. It doesn't seem like that's always been there, but it seems very useful. So I appreciate you pointing that out. I'll always see that now. Like that's sometimes, especially in late games, it's like, well, I actually do that on my score sheet. Like in the pre-end game, I'll write down what it is I drew to, or what it is that I picked up, just to make it clearer. So I don't accidentally get mixed up, confusing tiles that I don't like double count tiles that I drew with tiles that I played. When you're in the point of the game where you're trying to cross out your own tiles to see what your opponent has, plus what's in the pool, see the unseen tiles. So I'll be careful about stuff like that. So it's nice to have Quackle like also doing the same thing.
If only Quackle was there to tell me not to double cross off tiles.
I don't know. So yeah, I don't know if you.
I mean, what do we do
guess
here?
that's what you want to do.
What do we do here?
I guess you want to do Vex, so that you don't get stuck with a V, because I don't think AEO outplays. Or Div is okay. Div is better. Fine. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised he doesn't see either of these two. Like, considering now how obvious it is. Like, I'm not even sure why Perv is played. Maybe it's just like I'm gonna give up kind of play. It's like, just get me out of here.
Yeah, sometimes that can be correct. Like, sometimes it can be the correct thing to do to give up 2, 5, 10 point spread at this point in the tournament just to get the game over, so you're not wasting time thinking about this game that you can't win anymore, and preserving your energy.
The energy for the drive home.
Like, I don't know, was this like... If this was this the last game in the tournament?
Yeah. So you know, it's just prize giving after this, and obviously David Webb would... I could imagine you'd probably be upset at not cashing. Especially from this position. You know, win the last game of the round, you know you're probably going to cash. And lose it because, like, your last 4 racks, or actually pretty much his last 7 racks of the game, one of them had 2 vowels, one of them had 1 vowel, and the other 5 had no vowels at all. Like, there was
I just noticed that since you have the Skype time on there, that I can tell exactly when it's freezing out. So I could tell that I missed the first from 26 to 20, from 26:00 to 26:20. I couldn't hear anything you said, and then I could hear fragments of the next 10 seconds, and then I could hear the rest of what you said about the last 7 racks being bad.
Yeah, they were pretty much all bad.
So yeah, I didn't hear if there was an answer to my question about whether this...
There probably wasn't.
The last game of the day, then...
Oh, this was the last game of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, last round.
Okay, then maybe you just want to get home and get a little extra sleep or something, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, just like, it's probably just a conserving energy thing. Like, you can find Vex and get 4 extra points, but who cares? Like, there's some chance that it could end up making a difference in place, but there's also some chance that a bingo that you missed because you wasted too much energy on this lost game could also cost you the place. So it's that kind of thing that sometimes late in tournaments you have to like weigh those in your head.
Yeah, I mean the next couple of moves are kind of really obvious. I mean,
yeah.
There isn't really much to them. It's just kind of go for points, make sure you leave out. Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah.
Yeah. This is again like tie is like, it's like Krakow wants to play OE and also tie, and it's really just like you know, which one do you do first, whatever.
And for David Webb here, it's obviously get rid of the C, score loads of points, but really, like, what can you do here that is like the game is already over?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like there's much to think about. Like, for a lot of endgames like this, I kind of feel like just going for points is pretty much what you should do.
Yeah, it's just a dink play finding exercise.
Yeah. One, two.
So yeah, that's the game.
Yeah. I wish the stream went a bit better than that.
Yeah.
I'm really not sure what happened. I think it must just be my internet here. It just must be terrible for some reason. Like, I'm able to stream by myself. I think fine. But once I have to Skype at the same time, especially because I need to screen share with you to make it work.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's tough. I wonder what the if there's any way to like affect the resolution of the screen share, because I know that sometimes it like because it's trying to screen share at like some really high resolution, and then every so often it just completely fails and screen shares at hilariously a lower resolution, and I can't even see anything. But it seems like it's doing it automatically.
Maybe it would help if I just share a window rather than try to actually share the whole screen. Maybe that's something I could try.
Yeah, if it's I mean that would seem fine. That might be better, but
yeah. But anyway, thanks to all that tried to watch the stream. I will have the video up later tonight, hopefully. When I've pieced together, hopefully, about 3 or 4 videos to actually make it one.
Yeah.
One would hope.
Good luck with that. I'd love to find out what you were actually saying during those periods where I couldn't hear you. Hopefully, nothing bad about me.
Oh no, definitely not. Maybe next time I may just stream locally and then and then kind of just upload it later, but I really want to do it live because there's just something about it being live that just makes it so much better.
Yeah, even with all the glitches, I really enjoy like being able to collaborate and collaboratively do this with you. Like doing it yourself is a little bit lonely sometimes. It's really nice to have somebody else talk to on the call. And I will say, I wish that it were legal for me to have you in tournament games giving me hints, because I feel like if you were giving me hints, then my rating would be so much higher than it is right now. I would find almost everything if you were giving me hints.
Yeah, but I'm only able to give you hints because I've actually got the list of plays in front of me. So I actually know what was being played, so that I can give you hints if you're not actually seeing what was being played, if I'm like fairly sure it was better.
Well, good point.
And I can't yet see into the future to be able to tell you that you're missing a better play that you yourself should find. But oh well.
That's too bad. It would be cool. Alright,
yeah. So of course, thanks to Quinn for joining me today. I really do hope that this video was at least bearable, and I will try and piece it together later. And I just hope you guys watching want to come on the stream as well at some point. If not to do it live, it's just to locally record something to have a bit of fun. And I'm not sure which tournament I'm doing next. It may be the 2015 Masters, I'm not sure. But either way, I want to be able to collab with people. So start messaging me on Facebook and asking for a game, please. Have a good evening, guys.
This was fun. See ya.